Welcome to Coruzant Technologies, home of the Digital Executive Podcast.
Welcome to the Digital Executive. Today's guest is Marjie Hadad. Marjie Hadad is an international public relations expert, the general manager of Must Have Communications and Consulting, an author, an award-winning TV producer, as well as a coach and speaker on how to apply public relations strategies to parenting, life, and careers. The Power of PR Parenting is her first book. Marjie holds a Bachelor of Science in Broadcast Journalism and a Master of Arts in International Relations, both from Boston University. She is married and the mother of 3 children. She lives in Israel and in the United States. Well, good afternoon, Marjie. Welcome to the show.
Good afternoon, Brian. How you doing today?
Absolutely fabulous. Marjie, this is awesome. You know, I do traverse the globe. I do podcasts several times a week, but traversing the globe is fun, meeting someone new. I actually know you virtually for several years here. You're an awesome colleague, friend, partner as far as this business and the PR, the media business. It's just amazing that we get to get behind the mic and talk unrecorded, but today we're going to actually record our conversation. So that's awesome.
How fun is that?
It's the best. It's the best. I get to do this occasionally with a colleague or two. Normally it's someone I've never met, but here we go. So Marjie, we're going to jump into the questions here. Let me start by asking you a question around your career in communications and media. You were a TV producer. You're currently the author of Amazon #1 new releases with your book coming out. We'll talk about here in a second. Senior executive, you're an entrepreneur. But you're currently the general manager of Must Have Communication and Consulting. Could you share with our audience the secret to your career growth and what inspires you?
What inspires me are really amazing people doing really amazing things. And for the last 20 some years, I have had a focus in medical public relations. So med tech and stem cell therapy. And I work with some of the best and brightest people who are developing technologies that are really, really advancing healthcare. And I love it. I absolutely just love it because I walk into a room on any given day or get on the Zoom, as you well know in today's world, and learn about what the latest is and what just happened and what advanced and what's been successful. And it just lights me up to be working with people who are helping other people. And my favorite thing about medical is that it crosses all political lines and can be applied to everybody worldwide for good. So that's kind of what my career has been entrenched in for the last 22 years and what I continue until today.
Thank you. And I think it's awesome to be in that line of work that you're doing, obviously, but also being able to contribute or help in an industry that's actually going to help society and help people's health globally. So I appreciate that. Marjie, we're going to switch gears here, talk a little bit about our relationship and what you're doing now. I've known you for several years now, working in the PR business, working with your clients. This time, the focus is on you. So maybe you could share with us the news on your new book.
Thank you, Brian. What's really kind of interesting is that for the last 30 years, I've been behind the scenes helping other people tell their stories. What's new to me is for the first time in a very long time, I'm in front in the spotlight, rolling out my new book called The Power of PR Parenting, How to Raise Confident, Resilient, and Successful Children Using Public Relations Strategies. And as you mentioned, it's already hit #1 bestseller status on Amazon on the pre-order. It just went up. What's really, really nice is that this is another thing that cuts across political lines and can be useful for anyone who has any kind of relationship with children or works with children. I wrote the book in response to a conversation with one of my daughters. I have 3 children. They're all grown. And she had said to me, "Mom, you made mistakes, but overall, I think you got it right. I think that you should write a book that will help today's moms and dads to have an easier time at parenting based on your experience and expertise." And I was really shocked, is the truth of it. I didn't expect it, but I was happy to get an A on my parenting report card. And when I looked back, I understood that I had used my professional skills to bring up my kids. And I knew that it had worked because when I watch all three of them navigate challenges, or when they come to a juncture and need to make decisions or interact with other people to accomplish a goal, I watch them literally use the public relation practices, strategies, tactics that they learn growing up in a PR household. So I'm really kind of excited to help parents today to learn from my successes and learn from my failures too. I mean, I'm not the perfect mom by any way, shape, or form. We all make mistakes, and sometimes we learn more from our mistakes. So I'm hoping that by sharing our story, and I should say our, because the stories are about my professional career, but as well as our personal life here and how we use PR to help our kids to become resilient and to have confidence and self-esteem and ultimately to become successful. So I've basically documented it so that, you know, the saying, if I knew then what I know now. So that's kind of it. I've documented it so people today, the parents today of the little kids or the teenagers, have a page from my playbook and they can use it practically. Now, what's kind of nice, Brian, is that the book comes with a workbook. So all of the exercises in each of the chapters, at the end of each chapter, there's a QR code and you can go to the workbook and there's an expanded version of the exercise that you read about in each of the chapters. I wanted to give a present to whoever reads this so that they have a real action plan that they can print off at the end of each chapter. So I'm very excited about it. And I'm also starting a program at the end of May called the PR Parenting Program for anybody who wants a little bit of help to get through it. You know, you can read the book, you've got the workbook, but sometimes we say, you know, I would really like to be part of a group that reviews the strategies, deep dives a little bit more, shares the behind the story perspective, and that will help me personally to achieve what I want to achieve. And that's kind of what I like to help is whoever's in our community, in the private community of the PR Parenting Program, to be able to achieve what they want and to be as helpful to them as possible. And all three of these components, Brian, are part of an overall new PR parenting movement. And the movement, the whole point of the exercise is to teach these PR parenting concepts today. And hopefully the parents will teach them to their children to help them to be more confident and to have self-esteem and to be resilient and to go for it, no matter what the obstacles are, because life is not always a straight line. There's lots of zigzags and we all know it. And that their children, because we all know that we take what our parents tell us and our interaction, and whether we know it or not, we're kind of being repetitive with it. So I hope that these PR parenting strategies get passed on from generation to generation so that the world ends up communicating better, more peacefully, more kindly. And wouldn't that be nice if 100 years from now, people are still PR parenting and the kids are becoming more and more self-confident with self-love and resilient, and the world would be a better place.
Absolutely. I love that. You know, it's interesting. A lot of times we hear about people applying some of their home experience to their work experience. And here you're kind of melding that together. And you've learned a lot out of your career that you were able to apply it maybe at home, but also in your book. So we're looking forward to reading that. Thank you again.
It's my pleasure. I hope it helps.
Absolutely. We're excited. So Marjie, we're a tech platform. As you know, we focus on emerging tech, but we always ask our guests a little bit about technology, even if they're not in the technology space. So we want to ask you today, are you leveraging any new or emerging tech in your business? And if not, maybe you found a cool tool or app you could share with us.
Well, yes, the short answer is yes. There's all sorts of new tools available on Facebook and Instagram and TikTok and LinkedIn that when I'm on a team, I would have somebody else take care of it. But now that I'm with the book, I actually have to get into the nuts and bolts of things. So like a Facebook Live or an Instagram Live or something like that. I've been using those functions and they're not as scary as I thought they would be, which is kind of the good news. So I'm learning and having a good time learning it. And I'm going to be a technology expert on social media very soon.
That's awesome. Yeah, I love when people go live. You know, now you can go live on like just about every platform simultaneously, which is pretty cool, whether it's LinkedIn, YouTube, Facebook. appreciate that. I think a lot of people are now leveraging that every day in their business. Marjie, last question of the day. Could you share something from your career experience that might be helpful for those looking to grow their career in either PR or entrepreneurship?
I think that it's the resilience message to continue to try. Don't get upset about the no's. If you continue and believe in yourself, eventually you'll get a yes. Keep your sense of humor, because if you focus and keep your sense of humor, you can get through anything. That would be my message for whatever career you're interested in pursuing, or if you're growing your business. There's going to be hiccups along the way. There's no such thing as a 100% smooth ride. Just roll with it. And like I said, be prepared for it and continue. And if you believe in yourself and you don't give up, you will get there.
Thank you. Resiliency is such an important part of growing, living on this earth, and especially in being your own boss, for example. I do appreciate the share. That's very helpful for those looking to do their business now. And Marjie, it was a pleasure having you on today, and I look forward to speaking with you real soon.
Brian, any friend of yours is a friend of mine, and you are just amazing. So keep in touch and let's talk soon.
Bye for now.